On to putting the skid steer back together. Out came the old tired injectors, and in went 4 brand new injectors. Jordan made some progress on this before I got here, so now I'm going to go through and torque everything down. Hold downs, which basically clamp the injector down into the engine. And next up, I'll do this nut here, which is the nut that has little washers in there, and those are responsible for taking all the return fuel from the injectors and putting it back to the tank. We'll fire up the old electric torque wrench here and get this bad boy set to our spec of 20 foot-pounds. Good there, ended at 23. Next one, number 3. Doing this one a little backwards, there's number 4. Swap out our sockets, and now we'll hit those return lines. Spec on that is 8 foot-pounds. And these aren't going to be very much at all. Next, we'll make sure our gasket surface down here is extra clean around this lip, because that is where we are going to seal oil. We don't want to have oil leaks after this job. Keep on coming around the side here. Jordan got the new gasket already installed on here, which is a nice fresh gasket. The old one is real flat. So again, we don't want any leaks. Upgrade and not go backwards. One thing I do want to do is drop a little bit of some type of lubricant, and we'll put it around all these rubber grommets, because that's where the fuel line is going to sit in and twist. And I don't want it to tear this up. Give these all a little dab and then wipe it in there. We did also parts clean this whole entire thing, scrubbed it down the whole 9 yards. So it's nice and clean going back in. Moving away from that, one thing we noticed when tearing this apart, this belt is not in the best of shape. Some areas it's actually missing that. So it's a matter of time before this thing was going to cause an overheat issue, because that caused the fan to run and also the alternator. We're going to have to release the tension on the alternator through this little contraption here. We'll first loosen this jam nut inside of here. That'll allow this thing to spin a little easier. Now we'll crack this nut loose. I guess if I can get the right size. Not a 12. That is a 13. I can just feel the knuckle. Okay, that wasn't bad. Thought that was going to be a knuckle buster. Now we'll go ahead and loosen this guy up, get the tension off of it. Looks like, yep, there we go. We can get this out. Crack this guy loose. Now we can push this alternator in, pulling slack off the belt. Oh, look at that. That makes me feel even better about replacing this. She was already on her way out. Since we need to take this belt out either way just to get this belt off, we are replacing them both at the same time. Another issue we're going to fix while we're here is the AC. When it drains, it just drips into the cab. Flip the cab up, and I would say that's our problem. I already fixed this once up to this point. This was all bad before. But apparently we got to do it from the start here. So I'm going to take this clamp off to release this hose. Didn't want to play nice, so I put a slit. Now we got that off of there. Grab our clamp. This section here really has no issue, so I'm okay keeping it up to that point, but this section needs to replace. I would also say that's part of our problem too. Take a little scrap of the 1/2-inch hose. Really only need about, I'm going to say about that much. That little bit should do it. There we go. That's looking better. We don't have a kink there anymore. This is more flexible line. This stuff's really hard and kind of not easy to work with. So now this will kind of flex into place when we put the cab down, and should be all good. One more little thing that really drives me nuts on this is this thing sits here and rattles around, and you might be thinking, well, look, there's a bolt hole for it. But there was a standard bolt shoved in here. This side's cross-threaded. This side, the threads are blown out. So let's see if we can fix them. I have what should be the correct tap for this, if I can at least get it to take the first couple threads. We can throw this guy on. Oh, there we go. I'll run this back and forth a bunch to get it nice and happy. Clean our hole out the best we can. Get all the chips out of there, cutting oil. All this is it just plugs into the diagnostic port. Got 2 new bolts with the crush washer because these machines vibrate like crazy. Look at that, like butter. Now that's something we could say, the heck with it. As long as I had one bolt, it's not gonna fall out, but this thing would sit here and go. Because it did that, I kicked my boot on it so many times, this panel flew out. And this took all of, 5-10 minutes to find all the stuff to do it and put the bolts in. That's the stuff that makes your machine look good, stay running good, and not drive you nuts. I think that's going to be a wrap for tonight's progress before it gets too late.